Hey, welcome back to Skyblock. We're here over by the Smelter we started in the last stream. oh. Reverse parkour. In third person, haha, parkour master. Yeah, so we started this. Get out of the way. We started this smelter, and we were figuring out some of the mechanisms and the gubbins that are going to go into making it work the way that we want it to work. So yeah, we're going to jump back into that today. We have a story in chat. Hi, story. And I actually took the time to go through and update everyone's links, as everyone's channels seem to have moved around recently, so I think that's the right link for you now. But yeah, so we have and we've got Crumbs as well. Hi, Captain Crumbs. But yeah, we set a few objectives to this. So we want to have a 64 furnace. Just to recap, we want to have 64 furnaces. We want to evenly distribute our items across those 64. So we put a stack of items in. Every smelter is going to get one. We'll put 2 stacks in. Every smelter is going to get 2. So we want to use bamboo planks for fuel. We want to stockpile the fuel and only send it when the furnaces need it. So if we have an overflow of fuel, we don't want to be continuously trying to refill the furnaces if they're all full. We want to stop all the mine carts when we're not using it. We don't want the noise of mine carts running around all the time. This guy is more than enough for the annoying sound department. Yeah, you. And we want to have a double chest that we can dump the stuff into, and a double chest we can grab it back out of. So, I see. I could do this backwards, but in third person. But as the game's meant to be played. Okay, so part of that was that we have this rail line. And then when we take fuel out of this, it should dispense a minecart to put fuel back. And then when it's done, let's get back up there. Yeah, and then when it's done and this is refilled, let's give it a little helping hand. Refilling slowly, but it should. But by running the minecart over, this will go over all the furnaces and should evenly distribute everything. And yeah, once it's full, minecart stops. So that is there. We have it set up so that if there is no stuff in there. Oh yeah, this has stuff in it itself, doesn't it? Yeah, so if we empty out the minecart, yeah, if there's not enough items in there, then it's gonna stay put. And we also have a circuit over here that when this chest is low on items, put out a signal down to ask for more and refill it. I think this might actually need to change, because this is based on whether or not it's empty, so we probably need to put a subtraction comparator here. and just dial this back a bit so that if the chest is half full, it'll still call for more fuel. And this sends a block down here that powers this block, and we get a signal here to say that that we need to do something. So that, I think, is going to come in the form of, we've got these droppers. I think the idea would be that we'd have a crafter down here creating planks, and then we'd want to push the items up the droppers. But we need some sort of clock that will power these. I forget the specifics now, but we want to power them we want to power a crafter half as fast so that we can feed the bamboo wood in and then move both items up so we don't get it mounting up inside the droppers. Let's take some bamboo wood. Yeah, they do sound a bit crybaby, don't they? Happy gas. I mean, it's. I think it's crooning. I'm not actually 100% sure what crooning is meant to sound like, but yeah. Okay, so we get two bamboo planks per bamboo block. So we want to. Okay, that's an even division then. Somehow we want to power the crafter every other tick. That should be. Yeah, so we can feed that into a copper bulb and just run a comparator for that to power the crafter. And then the copper bulb will power on and off. So we can split that quite easily. Yeah, and I think then some of this is done. There's a bit more that we need to figure out though. So, and we probably need to try and compact some of this down and make it a bit less bulky. So I would like this to be 4 wide in at all of its extremities. So this here is our output chest, so we're going to deliver stuff across there, and then we also need a input chest mechanism that will feed the items we put into a cart and run that around the furnaces. I'm also thinking 36. I could do with some tools actually. I'm thinking 36 furnaces is going to be pretty long as well, so I don't know if we need to run the run the furnace is in at two levels. What do I want? I wanted tools, didn't I? So I have a pickaxe and an axe for this. Look at all those mobs falling down, providing us with sweet goodies. I still think this is one of the most aesthetic mob farms I've ever seen in a Minecraft. And I would actually have this as a screensaver if screensavers were still a thing. just watching them all plummet to their doom. So we got spawn over here. And yeah, let's let's grab some wood. So if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that's half of the furnaces we would be using already, and that's still quite big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. How does this look for scale? Like, that's quite... It's going to be a long boy build. We're going to have to move all of this out. Actually move all of this down a bit. I think the floor level should actually be there. I just didn't want to have to punch holes in the ground quite yet. Yeah, that's I mean, maybe it's not too long. What do you reckon? Would is that going to fit in if we have a long thing here, or let's see where the break would have been. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 there. Do we want to try and have the build come out to here and then have 2 stacked banks of furnaces? Or do we want to go for the full 32 furnaces on each side? Hi, Splash. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm really not 100% sure. It will change up how we have to wire things, so if we go more compact, things will get a little bit more complicated in some of the minecart movements, so we'll have to distribute along and back, I guess. I mean, we've got space, so actually maybe we do go. We'll make life easy for ourselves there, and we'll go the full length. But I am thinking one of the things that I want to ensure is that if we have random numbers of items, I want this chest. I think it's important that this chest depletes of fuel quicker than any of the others. If we have 31, sorry, if we have 33 items that we're smelting, I think it's important that this chest is the one that ends up short on fuel versus the rest of them. So rather than the one at this end, So otherwise, we're going to have to try and get a signal from up here saying the fuel's out. Back. So our wiring on the fueling becomes a lot easier if we can get that to work. Which means the minecart is going to have to run along this side, run along here, then come back. You have to run along this way, come back, run along this side, and then come back again and deposit it where it started. So, oh. So we could. Okay, so we're only using one side of the chest for this way, so we could, in theory, bring the cart back this way. Run it along here, bring it back. Take it. We'd have to take it up and over the fuel line, or under the fuel line. I'm not sure if we have space for under. We could potentially. Yeah, it's gonna have to come under. Could we run it? No, because the hopper's here in the way of getting the stuff out of the chest. Potentially it makes sense to move this over. Uses one less hopper that way. We don't need those. Straight into the chest that way. So this chest will run back and forth across all of them. This one will run that way, come back. We could ramp it up as it gets closer. Yeah, I think we bring it over here. Drop it onto... then bring it back down here along, and then we need to bring it back. So we could actually potentially bring it back along a line above this one, and then potentially drop it into place. So if it was like this, we could sort of drop the cart down onto the yeah. So we could have a line that brings the cart back higher up, and then sort of runs out, so the cart would sort of come along to a setup like this one, get to here, and then go donk down here to be reloaded. But the question then is, we would need... No, yeah, and then we can run a comparator off of the hopper feeding it. We can have a chest with a hopper, underneath feeding the cart, we can run a comparator off of that to check if there's anything in there, and if there isn't, then if the cart has enough items to fill some of the to do a loop, or if the hopper is empty, i.e. there's nothing left to smelt, we send the cart out. Okay, I think that makes sense. Now that I've got an idea of what we're building, let's see if we can build it. So we are going to need let's take out the unnecessary blocks at the moment. So that is not supporting any redstone, neither are those. That is reading through this block. None of those are meaningful. That is meaningful. These are spawn proofing. Okay, so so we can potentially have our RAL at this level and have it go up into that and have it go up into the above hoppers to deliver stuff. So we want a powered rail there, powered rail there, then let's have a look at we need a block. Fashion crumbs. I had a thought this morning while I was at breakfast about hightail later. As I will be back later tonight. I think it's 7 PM UK time for some hightail. For some co-op hightail. But yeah, 7 PM UK time. I was thinking, when we are out and about and getting up to shenanigans tonight, we should keep an eye out for, and still a bunch of the under construction signs from some of those WIP signs from various structures, and then we should surround V's build with them. So when he does finally decide to come grace us with his presence, he'll log in, find his build just surrounded by work in progress signs. And considering he's got he's basically only built the two sides that we can see from where our builds are. It feels kind of just and appropriate and proportional. How are we going to get the hopper into this? So I kind of want the chest here. The space constraints on this is hard going. Should maybe compact some of this down. So, what I want is another mechanism a bit like this one. We've got the chest, and then we've got the hopper going into the side. I want to load straight into. Oh, hang on, no, because this is in the way. Wait, no, is that actually? No, I just put that there, didn't I? That's not actually needed. So could we... we could put the hopper... we can put a hopper here, feeding into things. Then we run... That's going to be, yeah, that is getting powered by the target block there. Damn it. Okay, if we move over a little bit. Okay, so we need another slab. Go there, one more row. Yeah, I mean, we can do sneaky, right? I think it's well established that we're all very good at being covert and that's a thing people recognise in us, right? Not at all over the top in anything we do. If we have a setup like this, then our piston is probably going to sit. Actually, not there. Our piston sits annoyingly here next to this one. Is that torch is going to power it, isn't it? So if we have a damn it. Can we angle that torch some other way? Find another way to get the signal up. Hang on. Wait. If instead of invert the signal. Can we rewire this a little bit? If we have dust there, we then wouldn't need a target block, would we? Why even was that a target block? That should not need to be a target block. There's no dust going into it. We could go that there. Then we could bring that way. Then a block. We need actual power. We go I could put a torch there. Take that out completely. Another block. Slab, and then we can we don't actually, we just need to then put some dust on that one. Yeah. Okay, so that's now out, that's now rewired to be out of the way, I think. So we shouldn't see interference from this line anymore. Oh, no, because we need to power. Wait. The piston. Oh no, that is the piston needs to be one up from there. That was not what we wanted. So we need a piston in there. Slab there so we don't get a spawn. Is this such a... And this isn't needed anymore. Cut those out. That back, put this in. We have a piston here to prevent things from actually, I think this needs to go up one more. So then our piston goes in there. First we need to angle that rail upwards. Then we need to put a hopper in that way. And double chest in there. Okay, let's sorry, this should have been detector row. I think so let's put a detector route in there, and then we'll angle that up. And then we put a then put the hopper back in. Yeah. You don't have to respond to anything instantly in the chat, Splash. Let's put a chest in there. What we'll do is if we just put a no, we're gonna need more something with a bit more redstone power. Okay, let's put the let's put a redstone block on here so this is powered. And then if we put a cart there, that stays still. But we have a couple of questions now. Can we pull the fullness of the cart out of this through a block and get the power of the hopper out, and then combine those two signals into an OR? So we want to know can't have can I this is definitely not going to work, but it would be nice if I could get that angled upwards. Do it by oh, no, that's a slab. Nice. That doesn't work. Okay, I was hoping. I was wondering if we could actually feed right off the detector out and we can move things back a bit. No such luck. Okay, so detector owl, bring it up. Then we're going to have a hooper going into this, so this will feed the chest. where's our minecart gone? There it is. Put chest minecart there. Oh. That's going to be annoying. We're gonna have, okay, we'll have to find a different way to wire this up. In theory, we could go, do we have any more repeaters? Theory we could go like that. Oh, and then that needs to be, yeah, and that's our signal up. And then we bring it down. This way. Yeah, I think if we bring it down over, actually, no, because we're going to need to put the dropper elevator stuff in that side. Is there room on? There's potentially room that side for the, no, we're going to need to have the dropper elevator here, so that's going to be in the way. So we can go around this side instead, and we'll come out. We'll put this here, we'll put a redstone dust there, and the torch there, and then that's the same. That should be the same wiring, just bring it down the other way and it won't interfere with this comparator. Potentially we can run that into there. And then we have another comparator for this. Necessary. So now we're reading both. The comparator here should be reading whether or not there is stuff in there. Yeah, so that will power up when based on whether or not we have items. There's too much in such a small area here. I think it's a problem. Actually, what if we run this here? And then the trouble is interfering with this line. So what we're trying to do there is, based on a specific strength, come out of here. We want power. Sorry, we want to invert the power. So when that is on, we get nothing from there. Then have a signal coming back. Actually, no, hang on. That goes into there, which then inverts. So in theory, as long as we're stopping things from a signal from going backwards, we should be able to actually run dust. There. Okay, why is that not working? This comes in, it gets there. It's still traveling up. I do with running a signal into here to bring the power down. I don't have enough space if I want to keep this 4 wide. I could move this out further. Or make the drop-off station bigger when we were hoping to make it smaller. Remember to stay hydrated if you are watching. He says with a giant swig of caffeine, which is technically dehydrating, I think. Okay. Yeah, so how... No, it needs to go... So we need to disable that torch. That's the. It does need to go down into that. Into here. Where is the power notes on that one? Just one down for the piston. I feel like the wiring is only half the problem here. It's the main problem we have is actually is where to run the wires rather than how things work. So with that, let's take those up for now. Oh. We go like so. Is that not what we had before? Hang on. Okay, so when we read, so that's full. So we've got a signal coming out of that. Ah, hang on. We don't need to invert it. In theory, we could then go repeater. In there, yeah. Does that give us more clearance down here for the things we need? I mean, if nothing else, we've still made this a lot smaller. So we're feeding back now this way. What hit me? Oh, I'm starving. Food. Okay, so we have our circuit again here. So if this is no, this is the wrong way around. Right, it should be, if this is empty. So I had it right the first time around. We want to take that out and we put a torch there. So that should be off if the other one. So this should. Then what is failing then? So this is full. Ah. How? Yes, no. I'm I think I'm confusing things more than they need to be. So we can have we can put a repeater here. So we want to make sure oh. No, that needs to be a dust. Okay, that's where it's going wrong. Yeah, so we want to stop this if there is sufficient fuel there, or if there is not enough fuel this way. for that. We can go one there. Yeah, we go a block next to that. We run the dust up, and then like that. That needs to be. So then if we bring this down, let's the cart go, let's fill up, cart gets stopped, and then if we take a bunch of this out. And then trigger this, yeah, then we don't get the, it doesn't load. So we've got so the cart will stay still if there's no fuel in it, or if the furnaces are actually fueled. So this one is pulling out the signal from the detector out there. And then if it goes above a certain level, we'll need to put in we'll need to make sure that it has the right amount. So how low? Oh. So let's see if it's empty. So as soon as we go, that needs us to get to 2. Okay, yeah. So as long as there's 2 stacks of wood in there, it will send the cart out. And that one. Now this hopper is locked, so I think the answer here is we're going to need some glass. Or something that won't power the hopper to run that line over. I would use a actually no, because a slab. Wait. Oh yeah, a slab will transmit. Will the slab transmit the power down? I'm going to get some glass anyways. We'll probably need some at some point. Where was glass? Some, yes. So we need to try and make sure. At the moment, when we're turning off the power for the to release the fuel cart. Sorry, when we're powering the line that says don't send the fuel cart, we are also powering this block, which is then disabling this hopper. Will you play nice if we swap you out for a slab? No. Yeah, that's not running the signal downwards, because slabs. I don't think glass will work here either, because redstone would be weird. But let's try it. No, yes, that doesn't run it down either. Actually, what we could do instead is if we take there, put a torch there. Could then run it that way. No, but that then creates a problem with this. This block. What if we used a target block instead? We take that out. Force that around there. And then put our power there. Okay, yeah, that's now getting held, and then when it's got enough fuel, it gets released. this is sufficiently filled, it gets held as well. Okay, so we've got this powered now. And then this hopper, have we managed to unlock this hopper though? Okay, yeah, so this hopper's unlocked now. And we can read the relic. I think we need another target block. So if we run into there, then we should be able to redstone off of that. And it'll join up, so we don't need a comparator there. A comparator there. So we should be able to get signals here now based on aim better. Okay, so based on what's in here, if we put some blocks in here, okay, that turns that one off, that torch off. This one should be responsive to whether or not there are items in that hopper. So we want, if this one another target block. We run a dust here. that is powered. We basically need a very simple so this one we want power when no, this one we want to do some this one, if this hopper is empty, we want to power the hopper. Sorry, we want to power the we want to power this hopper. So this piston. And that tells us that there's nothing in the hopper, there's no items to smelt, so we want to drop the hopper down. This one down here will give us a idea of how many items are in there. I think I can run this up higher. Give us a bit more verticality to things. So if I run that into there, that doesn't have to be a target block anymore. That can be a regular block. Now that's powering from above. Okay. No, that took it too high. I was hoping that I could get it high enough that I could do some more interesting stuff down. Actually, no, that one doesn't need the. That one doesn't need anything interesting. Yeah, that runs into there. Let me get the. It's underneath the torch. Okay, so we've got this. Yeah, this one is. This is saying that the hopper is empty. So we want to turn off, and this one here is. This one here is saying that there is no items in here, and then that also should power the hopper. need to combine these two signals. So if we run that straight into a repeater, and that way actually no, that is oh, we need to invert that one. So we want to have so this one's on when there's not enough items. Actually, yeah, and then we can just go. Can we run it straight here? And then put a torch. No. If we run put the full block next to this and then run it up, I think we should be able to power both. Let's put that. Okay, so we want that on. If this hopper is empty. And if there's not enough items in this, so that is powered up to 1. That's gone off. But we want less power than I thought there. How do I not have any more smooth? Oh no, because I put it in the cart as a filler block, didn't I? That was dim. Okay, so we want to fill that to signal strength of 1. No, signal strength of 2. Yeah, no, I had this. I was just being dim. Okay, so we want let's put it back. So dust, then a block. Then another those, then the other one, we want power. We want power if this is below 2. So 1, 2, power this. Create a clock. I think the streamer braining that, and the fact that I didn't sleep well last night. It's not helping me with this today. Okay, so we got. So hang on. Let's. So we want, if we have a signal strength of 2 coming out of here, we want to invert the signal. So all the time there is not a signal strength of 2 in there, we want power. So then we go apparently here. But we also want to say if there is no, the top one's the easy circuit. Right? So the top one, if we have a signal coming out of this, then we're good. And we want to invert the signal. No, we want power on. Here, so this one is right, and then as soon as we get items in here, power goes off. If there isn't items in there, wait, no, if this is empty, yeah. If this is empty, we wanna retract the pistons. So that means the power is off when that is powered. So that is off when there is no items in there, and then if there is items, power it. But we also want to turn it off if this goes above 2. So, how many items does that equate to? So 2 stacks is enough to send the cart on its way. items in there. No, that's gonna turn on. No, hang on. We want two torches that can power the same piece of redstone dust, effectively. And that. And then we need a line across here to power this thing. So we go like that, and bring it across. We want a dust along there, and then a repeater. So we have an empty hopper here. It's reading it an empty hopper. Okay, this isn't inverted enough for that. Actually, no, this is correct. We want a dust there, slab there to stop something spawning. Okay, so now this line will run power if there's stuff in this hopper. So at that point, yeah, there's stuff in the hopper, so we get the piston down, there isn't stuff in the hopper, piston goes up. Then we have this line coming out of here. So this is now, this one powers if we have where's that? Oh, okay, that's coming up from there. We could put okay, so this is also powered because we have a chest minecart there with nothing in it, or we don't have a chest minecart there yet. So we're reading zero items in a minecart here, which has sent the piston back down. So now if we put a minecart in, 2 stacks and off goes the cart. Okay, so I think both of these situations now work. So that was with nothing in the hopper. If we put the minecart back now, and we put a bunch of stuff in there, so there'll be stuff in the hopper. So that is now powered enough. Why is it not? Because this is. So we need to disable that torch. Yeah, the happy cast is not helping us with this. I might actually move him. So he is actually starting to get annoying now. I mean, that is the reason why he's in the far end of the island that we don't often go to. But you are now being exiled to an even more, an even less visited part of the island. Let's get him out. Let's get him out of the way. Well, we don't have to worry about him. And oh, yep, he's out of audio range as well. Great. Okay. So, we almost had this. This is this bit here is wrong. What we have is an and rather than an or. What if we come out one more and we put a repeater in? Let's. Okay, so we want to do. Do we have any levers? We do have levers. We have blocks. Okay. So for an OR gate. Where are the... Oh, those are buttons. Do we not have any levers? Yes, we do. Simple, basic stuff. So, okay, so we power this. This is what we need. Trouble is the torch is getting in the way. So right. No, okay, hang on. So we want power. So we want the dust off if either is powered. Right, so that's... Yes, neither of those. Powered... Oh. Oh. Right, so this would be powered. This will be powered if there is enough items in there, and this will be powered if there's enough. If there's an item in the hopper. So actually, we want. I don't have an axe for a change. So, what are our actual criteria? This one will be powered if enough items. This one powered if the hopper's not empty. We'll also power things, and what we want is as a result is on if so we want it on if there's enough items or if the hopper is empty. So we'll break this out simple. So hopper not. Okay, so it should be off if. Okay, so off if not enough items and oh, sorry. Sorry, that's the that was the wrong key. We managed to minimize the screen. Yeah, so why are my signs playing up today? Off if enough items or hopper okay, so if we invert, so we need to invert that one. Just take a signal straight from there. Invert the signal. Okay. So if there are enough items, no, okay. It's the other way around, isn't it? So we go that there. Let's put target block in here. Okay, so if there's enough items, then that goes off. The hopper is if the hopper is empty. hopper is empty, or there's not enough items. That powers. If there is not enough, if there is enough items. Okay. If there is enough items, then we turn it off. If there's not enough items, then it's turned back on. Okay. The hopper is empty. No, I'm okay. That's okay. So if we have, if the hopper is empty, then the power goes out. If there's enough items, the power goes out. Yeah. Okay. Yes, this is way simpler than it needs. So we need. So our hopper empty line is this one. No, this one's. This needs to go into a torch. Okay, hang on. So I feel like that needs to be inverted. But if there's not enough items and the hopper is empty, yes. So that goes into a torch. This one needs to run a line up. And then if we put a target block in here, a redstone torch on top of it, we can then run a redstone dust off of that then then we can staircase the signal up. Staircase into a repeater. Put the repeater right here. No. Actually, no. But that shouldn't actually even need a repeater. That should run fine. Like that. Okay. So now. This hopper is empty. We get a signal. Where's the so let's put this in the input chest. Okay, so that hopper is no longer empty and there's stuff to be smelted. Where's our minecart? Over here. Okay. Then we have a minecart sat here. And that will slowly fill from the hopper. The hopper is empty. It will send it off with whatever is inside. Or if there's stuff in the hopper waiting to go, the minecart is there, and it passes the threshold, it gets allowed out. But if the minecart is sat there empty, it's not. The signal is not quick enough to. The signal's not quick enough to bring the. We want if the hopper is empty and there's not enough items, then it should power. But this doesn't get the signal quick enough to bring the piston down and stop the power the car. Where's the... So, if the cart is... if the cart is returning... then there are not enough items here. It should... I missed... Hang on. We've got an empty hopper, but we don't have... we don't have enough items in the minecart. So that is not powered. That is powering from... Okay, so that is powering because this is powered. Directly because we have the power there. So that is... I am very confused right now. Oh, no, let's not nudge the car. So, oh. Hang on. Right, so we have a breaking it down. If there's items and the pistons go in, then this comes down. And if there is enough items in the cart, the piston goes up. There's not enough items in there, but still enough items in the cart, the piston stays up. There are no items in the cart, but also no items in here. Wait, we have an wait, no, this is not an ore, it's an exclusive ore. So if there are items in the hopper, no items in the hopper, there's enough in the cart, not enough in the cart. So there's enough items in the cart. We need a truth table. So if the top is okay. So if we have so if we say the cart is along the bottom, is this column here, and the hopper is this one here, powered here. So if the cart has enough items, and the hopper has items, then we send the cart. Cart has enough items and the hopper has no items, then we send the cart. Yeah. If the cart has no items, sorry, if the hopper has no items and the cart, doesn't have enough items, then we send the cart. But if the hopper has items and the cart doesn't have enough, then we don't send the cart. So yeah, so it's the cart or not the hopper. Which is an or. And this should be oring. Oh. I can't get out that way anymore. Let's... There is no... Okay, so this should be... Let's make it bigger. Moment we have so at the moment we have items in the hopper. We have items in the hopper, but not enough in the cart. So this is our closing scenario. Oh. Where's the... Full block on top of that. Yeah. So we have, so this is a scenario where we're loading. That's a scenario where the cart is full enough, it can go. Okay. We are missing a. We've been missing a case. This is the problem. So we want a. So we also need to account for a situation where there is no signal at all. But where can we squeeze that in? Where can we squeeze that in? We run let's clear this out a second, and because we need to rethink it properly. So let's that will get powered by that. So we can we send this out to the side instead? Is that going to interfere with anything? Yes, it's not interfering on that side. Right. We need to know put that on the side there, it's in the way. Could potentially have two feeds out that way, one that way. And if that is coming straight out, it doesn't need to be a target block. So we just have a regular this side I'll take out and I'll raise up so that we can't actually put any dust or components here, because this is going to be the edge of our smelting building when we try and actually make this pretty in the end. So this here target block, comparator, okay. 1, 2, a repeater. Okay, so this signal here is whether or not we have enough items. If I put, oh no, if I put the torch under this, it's just going to create a does that actually matter? So we want to say if there is enough items in there, or we'll say if there's enough items in there, then that's the this is the signal we need. If there's not enough items in there, if there's no items in there, then so if there's not if there's not enough items in there, so if there's 0 items in the minecart, then we should power the piston. If the hopper is empty, then we should power the piston. But if there is enough items in the hopper, then we should negate both of these. So redstone, a repeater here. Got so if this is empty and this is empty, it stays down. If this has items, this doesn't have enough, stays up. If this has any items, has any items in this? Okay, no, that was not. Okay. Oh, no, that's not even a part of this one. This is this one is definitely a puzzle. Instead of there, come out to there and then run a repeater here. Repeater. No, that doesn't work because it's going to mess with the piston next to it. Here, so run that into there. So that's on if so if we run 2 pistons up there. advance it through 2 torches. One there. So no, that's okay. So if we have 0 items in there, if there is no items in that hopper, oh no, that's messing with that now. Hang on. So we can then also just go there. No, this is the wrong way around. So this needs to be not enough health. Wait, how did my health get so low? That's the constant falling down, right? Okay, hang on. So can we run a signal off of that? There, no. Okay, so it needs to be on the same level. So if we put a slab here, target blocking that one. Okay, so we have a so if that is empty, then this comes down. Unless there's enough items in the hopper. If there's items in the hopper but not anything in this one, so we need to then so that is we just made a clock. what do we reframe this? So basically we decide that the piston is always down. So we put a 4 block in there. And a torch. Okay, so the piston is always down. Unless we turn it off. So the situations in which it turns off is there is enough items in so there's enough items in the if there's enough items in the cart, then this gets powered. Come on. And we turn off the power. Okay. So, wait. Yeah, so the cart has items. Piston goes up. Okay. That's the wrong way around. Yes, this is the scenario where it's up. This is a scenario where it should be down. So this is, wait, how's that producing enough? Guess that block is also powering this one. So, okay, so we can't read directly from underneath. This is not being made easy. Okay, so we can go then we'll take a target block. Torch. Then a block on top of that. So a block on top of that, then torch, block, dust. So enough stuff in the cart now opens it. Enough stuff in the cart and that, not having enough. Still alright. So what we've got scenario-wise. We have enough stuff in the cart, so that piston retracts. Not enough stuff in the cart, piston comes back. Not enough stuff in the cart, there's something in this hopper. So that should power this block. So take stuff out of there, that comes back up. But then when there is 0 stuff in the cart, then this is now live. We can power this. We can negate this signal if so that is a target. If we make this a target block and we put in a redstone torch, we run that there. Wait, does that have power? Okay, let's go through our scenarios now. So we've got nothing in either of these. So nothing in either. Oh, hang on, my computer with the chat has just died on me. Let's see if we can get that back on in a sec. Alright, so we have nothing in this cart and nothing in the hopper, so the piston is down. If this has items and there's nothing in the hopper, the piston goes up. If this has items and there's items in the hopper, it comes down. But if we have enough items in this, it goes back up. Yes, I think that's all of the cases, right? Yeah. So the cart will be at rest here because nothing is in either. If we have items, but the cart isn't full, then the cart stays still until enough items reach the cart and then it's launched. If it comes back without items, then it stays put. Yeah. Okay, so I think we've got it. That was a lot of trial and error. Okay, so let's okay. So we've got, yeah, that's all. That's all required stuff, and then I can. Hey, I think we might actually have this figured out now. The only thing we're missing still is the dropper tower to push the items in. But I think this is sort of in the way a bit there. So this would. That's actually in the wrong place because we broke things earlier. But so we can put the torch that side. That means this sits underneath. We're going to power. Each of the dispensers do we have a bunch of observers handy? Where did I put our food? There it is. So this is our signal down to say send fuel. We'll do that by a crafter. Do we have any crafters here? Yes, we do. That is a dispensers. The dropper. Forget which way these place. No, the other way around. Block. So if we have a crafter here, and then droppers. We would want to then have observers, I think. We're going to need a copper bulb. We would end up with an observer clock. have an observer clock there. That would... where's our block? Oh no, yeah, it's this one. Then we'd have servers going up. This might get noisy, although actually there's going to be a block above it, so it should be okay. Yeah, so that would push things up. Then this goes over. Okay, so this goes over more. So we have normal blocks. So we can subtract 2 off of help, I'm stuck in my own noodles. Okay, now we can pass this way. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to power, the power is going to bleed from this. I think actually we go like that. I think this actually works. Okay. It would be a note block. A note block there, a observer there. Oh. Makes things easier. This. Then we put the we need to put our comparator back here. Then our redstone, then the repeater. So this can sit on top of the other stuff here. So we put a redstone repeater in there. these running down. There. Let's go over a bit. We would have a no, this is too close to the it's too close to the piston here. I think if we have the note block here, we can then have an observer clock here that will power everything. So now if we had if this was a copper bulb and we had a comparator coming off of it, we could then use that to power this, and we get half. We should get half the powerings of the crafter to the droppers, and then any item we put in here should end up in the chest at the top there. Can we reach? No. So if we have a look at the fuel chest up there. Oh, no. If we have a look in the... That's a bit... Where is it? Okay, where did that go to? I've done it again. That is getting powered, right? Why is it not? Oh, it's powered because something in here is powering that block. Oh, it's powered because of this. That is going to be a pain. Can we read through a... Can we read through a transparent block? No. Oh. That has to be a... Oh. wait, it would help if the detector rail was there first. So if we put a transparent block in, no. Okay, so we can't read it for a transparent. So that has to be like that. We need a row to fix the. We need a route to fix the orientation of the other row now. Might as well do this one while we're here. Okay, this one's a problem. Potentially we can no, I put that the wrong way there. Then we can come up this way. One short now. We should need less of these now. If they're close to the thing, because they will power each other. Oh, that should be feeding, yeah. Nothing in there. If we put in those, those make it their way up there. Because we've got less droppers, we'll have to move this up a bit. This is going to quasi-power, isn't it? Oh no, we don't actually have space to put it. Well, Well, I think, yeah, I think that bit is sorted. So I think we figured out all of the pieces here now. So we know how this goes together now to form no, wait. I think yeah, no. Yeah, comparator. There. Let's just test that this isn't going to interfere with the fuel request system. If the delivery system gets in the yeah. Actually, no, that's okay as long as it's not powering that dust. Okay, that's just triggering because we're quasi-powering the piston. That's fine because this is mechanism is only there because I haven't got enough droppers handy to bring it down further at the moment. Otherwise, it would be down here, and then we'd have to be using a torch here to move a observer back and forth based on whether or not we're requesting fuel, and that would shoot the stuff up. Yeah, okay. I think we don't need any of this anymore. So I think we have all of the pieces now we need to build this for real. Why am I not picking that up? That's better. Crafting bench here now. Where's our other chest minecart? Ah. So we'll put this one back in here. That should be down for the fuel call system. And then when there is fuel to go in there, that up and stops the fuel call. Okay, I think we have all the technical bits here. So this is this it's a bit chunky still, but we do have a lot of stuff going on in here. So I'm not sure if we will actually be able to compress it down any more than it currently is. But what do we have as an above ground level? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it'd be 9 tall. A building 9 blocks tall. Yeah, so if we put something like that around this, similar to our storage build over there, we can use similar design motifs. So that would take it up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it'd be easier. It'd be nicer if we could bring it down. Shave a little bit off the top. Actually, we still haven't figured out our minecart track either. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're less finished than I thought we were. But we could potentially get. Yeah, actually no. I think this will decorate. This will be able to decorate up nice enough. So our cart's going to come out this way. Come back. It's going to need to come up over here, so that puts us at that level. Onto another track down this way. Then it's going to have to come back along the top and turn and drop down and go this way. Okay, so I think we've got this into a pretty good state now. So I think what we'll do next week is we'll move this whole thing downwards. We'll take a light Matica schematic, we'll move it down, we'll rebuild it so it pokes through the floor. We'll have this chest here at ground, just sitting above the ground, I think. And then we'll have, and then this will poke through down into here. We'll put some stuff in to grab up any excess of the bamboo planks we have here. So the bamboo, sorry, not planks. The bamboo wood. That looks quite yellow for the wood. Must be the shaders. Alright. Yeah, so we'll pull some, we'll have any excess wood will funnel into a bank of chests. That will feed into a crafter at the bottom of the dropper tower. When we're out of fuel, we'll let the crafter node start crafting. That will pull more wood out of the out of that bank of wood. Send it up here as planks to then be deposited into our fuel cart. Yeah, and then when we want to smelt anything, we'll just wander over. We'll put it into this chest, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll be five chests up. I might also swing these chests around so they're orientated, sticking out this way. But yeah, we'll dump the items to be smelted in that one. They'll go off, they'll come back. We might try and align them, so we might run the hopper lines out a bit further so that they come, so that we enter the fuel. Both items here. Yeah, and then that'll be it. Off they'll go, they'll get distributed across the furnaces, and then we will have our stuff ready. Then our stuff will come back, and we'll have stuff sat here handy. Goes in the top chest, comes out the bottom chest, and off we go with our day. So yeah, next week we'll move. As I said, we'll move it down, and we will look at getting the actual smelters in and the rows for the smelters and the hoppers and the chests and so on. And then we'll work on the row system to deliver the items in the way we want. So we want to make sure that we load up from this chest along, and then we come back, and then we load from this chest along, and then we come back to this chest, and then here again. So that'll be the way that we actually fuel things, and that means that this chest will always have the least fuel of any of the others. So if we need fuel here, we'll need fuel everywhere, and we can send off the cart to refill everything. But I think that is I think that is where I am going to call it for today. My brain is pretty much conked out now with all of the redstone. So next week we'll be back. We'll get that all hooked up. And who knows? I might actually do the shifting this down off camera, because if you were here last week and this week, then you've seen me build it anyway, so you don't need to see that again. And then we'll be ready to go. We'll be ready to go next week with the smelters and figuring out the route system. And then hopefully if we have time, we can start decorating it as well. If not, then that will be the week after, or the stream after that, and then we'll have then we'll finally have a super smelter or set up in this world, and that I feel is going to be pretty big in terms of our industrialization of this Skyblock world. So thank you all for joining. I will see you all next week. If you want to catch that, make sure you're subscribed. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, and all of that other YouTube nonsense that we have to say. And I will see you all next week. Bye.